In March this year, we had to shift to online lectures. That shift was successful and we have learned a lot. But from the human point of view, all of us, students and professors, are eager to shift back to classroom lectures. That shift back will not be a step back. It will be another shift to new reality, because we are living in shifting times.
Our teaching across the spectrum of visual communication design needs to shift away from being constrained by an artifact-based, craft-rooted model and move more toward a model where students learn how to use design processes as a means to instigate and then sustain positive social, technological, economic, environmental, and public policy change.
In the same way designers research their clients, design educators must research their students. How can we make learning during the time of COVID better for them? For people between the ages of 18 and 29, life lived at a social distance with less peer support causes symptoms of anxiety and depression, and suicide is the second leading cause of death for people under 35. Can these topics be broached in the design classroom?
Teaching has gone unchecked for a long time and students aren't engaged in the work they're doing, so teaching will shift to account for student needs as a kind of customer service, and will view education as a product that people want.
If school is meant to prepare students for life after school, then the community that creatives enjoy to collaborate, to critique with one another while they're students, should continue after they graduate as well.
Hi, my name's Jessica Loy, and I've been teaching graphic design for almost 30 years. For me, what's most important in shifting our teaching is trying to maintain community with our students, to keep them engaged, and that's our biggest challenge, is reaching through the computer to stay connected. Thanks, bye.
The world is full of wicked problems right now. There are so many opportunities for design thinking to be utilized for social change. So how can assignments shift to address this? How can we create opportunities for students to engage with these issues at the systems level?
Hi, I'm Rachel Beth Egenhofer, professor in the design program at the University of San Francisco. I believe our teaching must shift from stuff towards systems, shift from sustainable towards regenerative, shift from what we can do in one semester to what we can do in 100 years, and shift from teaching individual design stars to teaching students to be collaborative humans who can design with diverse teams.
For me, the shift in education should be looking at three major pillars. The pillars like empathy over expectation, looking at methods over material, and forming a student-centric education.
Our teaching must shift to include multiple modalities, including in-person, including online but synchronous, and including online and asynchronous.
I believe that we need to do everything we can to make sure that our students engage with each other, that they get to know each other during our remote classes in the fall. I think that the greatest thing that they're suffering from is a lack of connection, and everything that we can do to foster that interest is really going to be worth the effort. I've retailored all of my assignments to having them make work about each other. So I hope it works.
Our teaching must shift to be more inclusive, both in the classroom environment and in the structure of our classes, such as in how we word our syllabi and what we do as class assignments. We need to reflect on the examples we provide of designers, both from history and our present day. And while we should all take some time before fall to make positive changes to our classes and our culture, we also need to realize that this should be an ongoing goal. Keep educating yourself, continually work to do better.
Hi everyone, my name is Xiao Chen, a current graduate student from the University of North Texas. Have you ever thought the online education format would last a long term instead of a temporary choice? Thank you.
So one thing that I think that we should do to shift as design educators right now in terms of our teaching is to show up to our classrooms as human beings with all the messiness that implies, so that we can connect with our students who are also human beings with all the messiness that that implies. I think connection is really one of the most important things for us to focus on right now.
We need to emerge a deeper understanding of design principles and how to apply knowledge beyond design theory. Hybrid design is often paired with social behavior, cognitive science, or socioeconomical problems, you name it. And remote learning based on projects in small groups can be one answer to that. Teaching critical thinking is pivotal in the future of design.
The ability to shift, be nimble, and adapt to circumstances has always been a critical skill of creative professionals. As teachers, I think the most challenging aspect of the times is engaging students in studio classes. We need to reinvent how we teach those things and develop new innovations.
It's more important now than ever that our teaching closes, not widens the digital divide. It's really a social justice issue.
In the past, we've all probably taken some pretty elaborate measures to ensure that the spaces in which we teach are really safe spaces and conducive to creativity and also learning. We must bring the same critical thinking into how we are creating safe and also ethical online and digital spaces for our students.
My main goal this semester is to try and improve on my abilities to teach across the digital and physical space and create a fluid classroom. I want to be able to provide my students an opportunity to participate in person in the classroom or in person online in whatever way they feel the most comfortable.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shweta. I have a teaching experience in varied architecture and design colleges in the foundation level. So I feel that during this time, the generation that we have today is bombarded with a lot of virtual information. There is a lot of distractions due to the overload of virtual information sharing, and pressure performance is measured against the marking system or the likes or dislikes on the social media or the how many followers you have. Most students are in constant pressure to be accepted, and hence the process, they lose their identity. They become more of a followers instead of becoming the change makers. The students are scared to experiment, attempt, or even try a new path due to the stigma of failure. The students need to be reminded that they were the child that they once were, to be that young child again who stumbled, experimented, failed, and again stumbled, experimented, and finally succeeded to walk independently, and later run, skip, jump hurdles, easily part of learning and growing. With every passing year, it becomes challenging for the teachers to instill that notion of self-worth and self-learning. With this generation is already faced with the bombardment of virtual information, the ideology of the course, I feel, should be more focused and directed towards enhancing the basic and relevant skills and attitudes. The same needs to be taught and mentored in depth rather than imparting superficial broader spectrum of knowledge that consists of various topics. The ideology should be, what I feel is, the less is more, not in terms of understanding and knowledge, but what the content of the course. So the ideology should be, the course should help the students to delve deeper into the understanding. Thank you. And I would like, of course, this debate to carry forward. Looking forward to a great week ahead. Thanks.